All right, hello. So this is a tutorial on how to get started with Unity and how to get quite a bit of the stuff that I've been trying to do with you guys for the last 4 weeks. So the first thing we need to do is go to Unity Asset Store and we need to type in here Tune RTS. Make sure that you add a player character. This is going to be the player character that we're going to add. And I'm going to hit Add to My Assets. Let me just see. Awesome, this is my project. Hit Add to My Assets. I tried to create this video this morning, but of course I had technical difficulties. Also happens to the teacher. So I'm going to open in Unity. Click on Open in Unity. And I'm just waiting for it to refresh the packages. Excellent. Don't think it quite got it. So hit Open in Unity again. And find your player character. Hit Import. And we're going to down import it. All right, so it might take a couple minutes for that to happen. Hit import. That should be imported now. The other thing we're going to add is this RPG polypack. So hit import. Just have a look at here and make sure we don't add any code. We don't need the scene. Hit import. This hopefully will, if you follow this tutorial, you shouldn't encounter any problems. If you have encountered problems with your character moving or the camera, this will make sure that we answer all those questions and get that sorted for you. So assets, we click on assets here, we go to RPG, go to prefabs, go to nature, terrain, and I'm just going to add like a flat plane here. Sweet. Maybe. Oh. So we can zoom in and out. If you hold it, right click down, you can also change the angle. As you can see, one of mine's in the air. So how do we fix that up? Well, we just look at this is 30. That one here, make it 39. And then we're going to add go to assets, go to Tune RTS and models and add your, it didn't work. There we go. Where is he? So the one way I like to fix that up is you just click on a terrain piece, right click on copy, go to your Tune RTS and go paste like that. So that's what your scene should look like to begin with. Feel free to press play and you're probably not going to see anything. You now need to make a much better terrain, but we'll do that later. So the next thing we do here is we right click and we're going to create an empty object. We're going to call it player. We're going to put it drag and drop our main camera. So you can see here the hierarchy has changed. Make sure it's the same. And then we're going to add our demo night here as well. So our demo night and our main camera should be on the same indentation here to show that they're in the player object. We're now going to move our camera. So we can do something cool here. We can see that it's 46 by 26 by 47. If we do the same, it will then move the main camera to that spot. So we just copy from our night to our main camera and we right click and paste. And I think we just need to bring it up just a little bit. Perfect. So now when we press play, we can see that's the main camera and we're going to see So it's starting to look like a game. So very quickly, we're now starting to build that game. You should all have Sublime or some other application to write code. And just give me 1 second. We're now going to write that code. So on main camera, we're going to add a new component here, new script. We're going to call it mouse look. Double click on it. Here it is. And it's opened up. So we're going to, first of all, this is the public class, and we don't change the name of the public class. If it's misspelled, if you accidentally spelled like moose, make sure that you do change it, but then you've got to change the script here as well. Otherwise, you'll get an error. We're then going to add a float on sensitivity. Click float. And remember, a sensitivity is equal to 300F. Our sensitivity doesn't like that. Why? What did I do wrong? Public. Oh, there you go. You see, even the teacher has to be careful. We've got to have the curly bracket, of course. So start writing. All right, let's start here. There we go. And public means that you'll be able to change that in the future as well. You'll have a setting. If you were wanting to change that to private, it wouldn't show up in the setting, and it would also not be something that another code can control. So sometimes we want public and sometimes we want private. Depends on what we're designing. And then we're going to add another one here, float X rotation. And you see I didn't add public float because I don't want this to actually be controlled by the user. Let's hit save and look at this. We can see three settings here. Oh, sorry, two settings. Mouse sensitivity and player body. We're then going to write here cursor lock state is equal to cursor, make sure you spell correctly, lock code dot locked. Now, because that's going to happen on start, guess what's going to happen on start? We're going to be locking the cursor. Yep, and we can press the escape button and we got our mouse back. And so we've written our first line of functioning code. Next is our update. So every frame, we want to be able to get the data from the input of the mouse moving or the trackpad. Input dot get axes equal to, not equal to, is mouse x, and we have already defined what mouse x is. You can change that in your settings on Unity editor, but they're going to work for you. Time dot delta and float mouse y is equal to input dot get axes mouse y times by mouse sensitivity times by time. It's like that. Make sure everything is spelt right. We're then going to change x rotation minus is equal to mouse y and x. This is going to the x rotation makes it more natural and prevents some funny sort of angles and perspectives happening here. Math f dot clamp rotation 90 f 90 f semicolon transform dot local rotation. Make sure you spell everything right. Quaternion Euler Player body, rotate, rotate, 3, how's my mouse look? I go to console and I can see I wrote transform wrong. Line 27, forgot the S. Transform. Shouldn't get any errors. Red errors, yellow you can live with, red you can't. And then we click on player body here and we drag our player object, our blank player object. So it's just a simple drag and drop. All right. Don't worry about how fast he's moving right now. That is great. Awesome. We're now going to add a couple more settings. Okay, so we're going to be adding character controller here. Character controller. Then add mesh collider. And adding character controller. Adding a new setting, a new script here, new script. I'm going to call player move. Before we do that, awesome. I'm just going to have a look. Ah, I've added these to the wrong character. Okay, should be to the player object. So just get rid of those. Go player, mesh slider. Also, the character controller. Oh, it's already on there, is it? Data. And also script. We already have the script. It's called player move, isn't it? All right, so double click on player move, and we are now going to write the code for player move. So all right, we're going to write it here. So vector 3 and then we probably won't bother with that part, will we, right now? We'll then go on update. Okay, so vector 3 velocity. Oh, there should not be a space there. Public character controller public float speed equals 12 public float gravity is equal to minus 9.8f. Float and click on hide. F. That should be enough. Okay. And then we're going to go down to update, void update, right float, x is equal to input, dot get axes, horizontal, float, z is equal to get axes, vertical, we're then going to do this. Just checking. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to jump a little bit further ahead and then come back. Vector 3 move is equal to transform dot right times by x plus y transform dot forward times by z. Controller dot move by speed times by time dot delta time. Semicolon. Sorry, you should have two curly brackets here. Let's now check the code. Vector 3 is a type but is used like a variable. Vector 3 line 30. I can already see what I've done. Get rid of the equal sign there. My bad. Okay. Now we should be able to move around. Or have I fallen through? Not yet. Oh, I forgot to assign. So we drag and drop to controller here. Awesome. So that is now working well, but we're not being able to jump yet, are we? I need to change my sensitivity down to like 150. All right. We are going to then add the ability to jump as well. So here, if input dot get button jump, then we're going to do velocity dot y is equal to math f dot root t jump height F gravity. Then we're going to do velocity dot y plus or equals to gravity dot delta time plus dot move velocity. What we're doing now is we're changing the velocity of y, of how you fall, based on the gravity. So we're essentially adding gravity into the game here. And I think we fell through, which is a good sign. So we need to add here, add component, glider. All right, so I'm going to make my scale here a little bit bigger. Just go by 10 by 10. I should not be falling through anymore. I still am. All right, so I've just been playing around with something, and I found a bit of an error here. So Toon RTS and main camera should really be at position 111 or 000. Most likely 000. I just copied the data over. My mouse is sort of playing up. So do 111 for main camera. Toon RTS should be 111, and then the player can be whatever they are in the real world. I've just noticed that there can be issues with position and that if that's not sorted out. I've also just found out something interesting. If your mouse sensitivity say like 50, really low. Okay. Yeah. So this is what the game is starting to look like now, and it's looking pretty good. As you can see, we're now jumping around. We can even double jump or triple jump. It's sort of more like the right physics, but it's good enough for the time being. You're now going to need a enemy asset, and we're going to find that. And I'm going to just go back here to an RTS and find here keeping in the theme. That's $20. Not going to pay for it. This one here, Tune RTS demo orc. Open in Unity, import, and so now we're going to have this orc in our game as well. Hopefully, everything is working for you. It does sometimes require turning on and off your PC or restarting your scene as well, your Unity. So let's just increase that. I don't know why it's not letting me actually type. I need to use this. my mouse is sort of playing up. All right, so now you've got your enemy here. You should be able to see it in the game. It's all flat, so hopefully it's fairly easy to see the enemy. Oh, there it is. All right. I'm just going to move the enemy a bit more into range of the camera. Check. Yep. So when I hit play, I'll see the enemy straight away. Terrific. All right, now before we work on our enemy, we're just going to go back to our player move script here. And if you want only to have one jump instead of multiple, like it's a low gravity game, we're just going to put on line 18 here in the player move script, bowl is grounded, and we're going to check to see if it is grounded. And else if jump, and we're then going to just add here, because in the future we'll be adding some animations as well. Controller dot now it's no longer going to be able to jump multiple times. Awesome. Now we're moving to the all right. Now we're going to begin writing our code here. We added it already. I forget. Nope. Okay, so go to our enemy, and we'll just call it Wolf Rider or whatever. Hit add component, and we're going to we're going to right click here, and we're going to hit create empty object and call it enemy1 or enemy2. We'll just call it enemy1 for the time being, and we're going to drag and drop our orc rider into. Oops, it's not quite in there, is it? Here we go. We're going to then go add component. We're going to add a controller here, character controller, add like a mesh collider, and we're then going to be adding in a enemy controller script. So call it new script, enemy controller. Excellent. So we're going to define how far away they can detect the player. So radius is equal to 50f. Public float move speed is equal to 2f. So we're going to control their speed. Public float gravity as well. We're then going to go public character, the character controller, vector 3 velocity. So on target, so at the start we're going to go target equal to player manager instance player transform. Check if this works. Debug log target locked. All right, once we have written that, we're going to see there's an error here. So we're going to right click, create new script, and we're going to call it player manager. Rename, whoops, it needs to be called player. I don't know, my mouse is sort of playing up here. properties, player. So then I've got to change it here as well, player manager. Get rid of this part here and go public player manager and find the instance of the player. Void wake instance. This public game object. Right, once you have done that, as you can see, it is starting to work. So enemy controller, it's saying a null reference. It's fairly easy to handle, null references. Just going to change this to, I don't know why it's changed. Must have accidentally clicked a button. Go to player, sorry, go to enemy, drag in character controller here, and all right. Player.start target is equal to player.manager.instance.player.transform. We're then going to type in here vector3 on update. The 3 move is equal to transform dot forward. Color. What do you think is going to happen if we write this code? Forward, isn't it? Not going to really do much. Speed, ISO time, delta. Everything right? It looks like I did. Okay, have a look. Moving forward, but it's not really looking for us yet, is it? Let's fix that up as well. So what we want to do here is go back to our code. This is our enemy controller code, if you remember that. And we are going to change, we're going to change the angle so it does chase us. Vector 3 angles. Please spell angles, not angels. Transform dot rotation dot Euler angles. Angles is equal to new 3. Vector 3 just means it has 3 variables in it. X, Y, Z. Y dot 0 semicolon. Transform rotation is equal to now. It's still moving away. It's good to see that there isn't any new bugs though. All right, We're now going to be adding in here transform dot look at target semicolon. That is the code to make our enemy chase our player. There's still one small piece that we have missed out, and we need to add a game manager. We're going to right click here, create an empty, and we're going to have a manager that controls our game. It's not letting me rename. I've done something. I think I pressed all the buttons. So what we're going to be doing here is adding our player manager code. So just type in here player manager, and there's our player. Grab your player object, drag and drop, and then we'll press play here. Now, look at that. It's sort of working. Not sure what happened there, but let's try that again. All right, so we got our enemy moving in sort of the right direction, but for some reason I am no longer able to move. Odd. Let me just remove component here. Game is kind of stuffed up. I think I might just restart it. Not restart the game, just restart mine. It's just two things that I need to do. Drag and drop and hit player. All right. So I've just been doing quite a bit of testing here, and one thing I've noticed quite a bit is I'll just show you what was going wrong. I had the enemy object, and right here, as you can see, and I had the wolf warrior very far away. And I just opened up these two scenes so I can see exactly what's going on. And you can see he's acting really weird. It's just going berserk, isn't it? So, but I managed to see what's happening in the scene here to figure out what I need to do. And this is something I didn't realize was such a big issue last time I was doing it. But maybe some of the students were making this mistake. You've got to set everything here 0 when it's a child of this bigger one here. It needs to be 0, and then everything will work as according to plan. I think now it's looking right at me. Awesome. Now going to increase the logic of this. We are going to we have a look radius here. So if vector 2 b vector 2 distance transform dot position target dot position equal to look radius. Now going to target here. I spelled it wrong. Transform. Misspelled target. If you move far enough away, it should stop chasing you, but I don't know what that is yet. So let's go back to our code, and we can actually add something really cool here so that we can see how far away everything is. Void on draw. Those selected. I'm going to then do gizmos. Color is equal to color dot red, and gizmos dot draw wire sphere transform dot position radius. Right, save that, and we go to our scene, and look at that. We can see how big that is. So our enemy, our player, is just in that. Now it's out of it. So we press play. So that's what we just coded there. Where is the bad guy again? It should not be coming to us anymore. We're out of the radius. Out of the radius. Might fall into the radius, so I'll just move him a bit further away. Yep. Okay, ready? I'm gonna trigger it, and there we go. It's now chasing me. So we have some very basic AI logic here, and we could extend upon it. The final thing I'm going to show you before I create a new video here is we go back to player movement, and back to player move. We're going to go using Unity Engine .scene management. So at line 4 here, we're going to be adding a new code. This is player move, our player move code here, and we're going to be adding a new function here, void on controller collider hit, and that should be a capital on. The controller, the capital C, controller collider hit, curly brackets, if hit dot game object dot tag is equal to enemy. We're then going to write some code here, debug.log. We're going to resmall. We're going to check if it adds into the code here, semicolon, and go scene manager dot load scene. Anything with the game object tag enemy is going to cause us to restart the game. And if it collides with us, manager dot get active scene dot build. Now we're going to have to give our enemy this tag as well. So as you can see here, there's tags. We're going to add a tag and write enemy. Save. Go back to your here and go enemy. That should all work now. So let's run into our enemy, and the game should restart wherever our enemy is hiding. I can fight you. See what happens. Target locked. Box collider is on. There we go, respawn. It's just a very small hitbox. And now we have an issue with the lighting as well that we have to fix, but we'll do that in our next video. All right, guys, that's been a bit of a marathon session. Hopefully you've got some insight into all of that. The hitbox is really small. I've got to find it again. There it is. All right, guys.